58 AD, 3952 AM. Roman general Suetonius was sent to Britannia to subdue the Welsh. He was a veteran who had led the Romans in a series of victories in the Atlas Mountains of Algeria. In this, the 7th year of the passing of the Roman Apocalypse Comet Group, as the Roman army destroyed the city of Artaxata in Armenia, a divine portent appeared according to Tacitus. Quote, "While the sun shone brightly all around the walls, the area of the city itself was suddenly enveloped in a dark cloud, with unearthly lightning flashes." Unquote. The Ruminalis fig tree, situated at the place of assembly, died in this year, being 830 years old, planted 773 BC. Its shoots died and trunk withered, which was thought to be a portent of evil, but then the tree revived and grew fresh roots. The Apostle Paul is confined and placed under guard of Governor Felix of Caesarea. Knowing his confinement was illegal, he had appealed to Rome when originally arrested. 1 Tacitus, Annals XIII. Livy too wrote of the Ruminalis tree in early history of Rome. 59 AD, 3953 AM. Nero murdered Agrippina. This is the 8th year of the passing of the Roman Apocalypse Comet Group. In this year, according to Tacitus, the sun darkened over Rome, and all 14 districts of the city were struck with strange lightning, one woman having been killed by a thunderbolt in her husband's arms. The Romans recorded the passage of a comet, and about the same time a flash of lightning struck and broke the table Nero was eating at, in his mansion at Subluqueum. The famous city of Laodicea was destroyed in an earthquake. 1 Tacitus, Annals XIV. 60 AD, 3954 AM. A comet is recorded by the Romans. In a rich kingdom in northern Britain outside of Roman occupation, Prasutagus, king of the Iceni, died. His queen, Boudicca, ruled and was attacked by the Romans. She was bound, stripped, and lashed in front of her 2 daughters as the Roman soldiers raped them, both princesses. The Romans ravaged and sacked the kingdom of the Iceni, turning their lands into a Roman province. Boudicca was a tall, red-haired warrior queen, who after her release rallied her people. The masses joined her, and she marched her army against the Romans in Britain, at the Roman colonial city of Colchester, slaughtering the Romans and their loyalists. A Roman legion sent to aid Colchester was also slaughtered to a man. Roman-occupied and sympathetic London was defeated and burned to the ground, as well as St Albans. The revenge of the Iceni set back the entire Roman colonial program. Tacitus recorded that the Iceni slaughtered 70,000 people in their revenge campaign, but the Romans regrouped, were reinforced from the continent and routed the Iceni, killing Boudicca, resulting in the deaths of 80,000 Celts. The Romans had been reinforced by those Romans trying to defeat the Druids among the Welsh. The Apostle Paul departed Rome and travelled to Spain, converting whole multitudes to Christianity. He purposed to travel further to Britain because he had learned from studies at Phoenicia that some of the children of Israel at the time of the Assyrian captivity, 745-721 BC, had escaped to the Isles of Britain. According to a copy of the Book of Acts found in the Turkish Annals at Constantinople, which has an additional chapter the standard Book of Acts does not have, Paul preached mightily before the tribunes at Rome and then travelled to Britain. Paul sailed from Ostium to Spain, and in Spain at Armorica he found a merchant sailing to Britain who voyaged along the European coast to a port called Raffinus in Britain. But news of his coming had already reached the Isles, and when Paul arrived, great multitudes gathered at the news of his arrival, his name already known to the British for exploits abroad. Paul preached to the throngs of people on the shore, and as he spoke the Holy Spirit fell upon him, and he prophesied to the people concerning the last days. From this date, Christianity spread rapidly over the British Isles. Recall that Paul was a personal friend to the British royal family, to King Caractacus of the Celts who lived in Rome. The calendrics for this year are strong. The Olmec calendar was a Western calendar, this being 3312 years since its inception, or 414 times 8, or 552 times 6. The Anunnaki Nephilim hybrids before the flood oppressed the Sethites and mankind, their reign beginning in 2839 BC, or 2898 years earlier, this being 414 times 7. It is 52 plus 52 years, 104, after the start of the Roman Julian calendar. In 2046 AD, the entire Western world will die, and 60 AD is 2046 years before the death of the rest of this present world at Armageddon in 2106 AD. 1. Ancient Mysteries. 2. The Philosopher and the Druid. 4. Tracing our Ancestors. Tacitus Annals XIV. 62 AD, 3956 AM. A violent earthquake damages buildings in Pompeii and Herculaneum near Mount Vesuvius in Italy on February the 5th. This is exactly 21,000 months, 1750 years, after Mount Vesuvius buried alive entire cities in Italy in 1687 BC. This is the 11th year of the passing of the Romanid apocalypse comet chain. 1. Great Disasters. 63 AD, 3957 AM. A huge earthquake afflicted parts of Italy, 2 miles from Baia, where landslides buried Roman settlements and elaborate bathhouses was the Greek city of Cumae, where the cave of the Sibyl was located. Lightning struck the gymnasium at Rome, burning it down, melting a bronze statue of Nero into a shapeless mass. 1. The Jesus Papers. 2. Tacitus Annals XV.